Hello, YouTubers, future millionaires, entrepreneurs, business owners, everybody that's watching. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Ali Obeid, and I promote an online education platform that help you set up your or start up your online business. And today I'm doing video number 3 of the man that makes $1 million an hour. 1 million an hour. This guy made close to $24 million in one day. People don't even make that in 5 lifetimes. This man is Frank Kern. He's very smart when it comes to online business. He's good at what he does. Um, Recently, he had joined forces with Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone is a real estate guru. He started out with nothing. Now he's worth perhaps $1 billion. You know, I'm close to it, if not a billion. But he has been doing really well for himself. And now with him joining forces with Frank Kern, I believe it's going to benefit both of them. Grant's going to do very well out of this, and Grant and Frank both going to do really well out of that. They're going to help each other because they're both very good at what they do when they join forces. Of course, it's a duopoly kind of thing. I guess it's called duopoly when two big companies join together. And I have a lot of admiration for Frank, and I'm doing video number 3 right now. I did 1 and 2. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the links for the previous videos in the description. So if you guys have if you guys want to watch video number 1 and 2, just click in the description too. So let's listen to what Frank is. What was his lifestyle consisted of? You guys aren't going to believe the numbers, the level of success that he has accomplished. Here we go, guys.
My life reflected it. Your beliefs reflect your life, for sure, right? All the money I made was just, the end result of that was to buy things. Man, if I make an extra 200 grand, I can get a Ferrari, I can get a new house. I'm not going to be miserable in my new house. I can drive my Ferrari into the garage and be miserable, you know? All right? I shit you not, I would go out and buy all this stuff, and then instead of being like, this is great, I would sit around and worry about the stuff. Like when I would drive in Macon, Georgia, you got to like picture me living in this tiny little southern town of Macon, Georgia, driving a Ferrari. I got a little bit of attention in the thing, and I would drive around in it, absolutely miserable driving in it because I was convinced that everyone on the road hated me and thought I was an asshole by sheer fact that I was driving the Ferrari, you know? So that's where my head was at. It sucked. Lived in a constant state of anxiety. Well, what if one of my customers finds out where I live or something and they like call me? Dear God, you know, it blew. 25 pounds overweight, insomniac, chronically paranoid. I promise you, when a car would come in front of my home, I would become anxious, defensive, and angry, thinking that might be someone that was coming to hassle me. Madness, right? Really compelling story. Oh, great. What else can you share with us? This is awesome. And if you act now, this could be you. Now with 20% more misery. The exercise I'm going to share with you, for lack of a better phrase, 9-month total life makeover. I did what I'm going to tell you about without any real goal in mind. I just wanted to like figure out what the hell I wanted, because here I am, I'm buying all these things, I'm still miserable. We have this big dilemma on which fancy house. We literally went to see what the most expensive house we could possibly buy was, so we could just find that one, thinking, well, that's that'll be good, right? Yay. I went from that state to a significantly better life, which I'll share with you in a minute. I did this exercise in late September of 2005, sitting at my desk overlooking the loaves and fishes homeless dude thing, watching the junkies and the drunk people try to kill each other. Remember, I was miserable, right? Hated my customers. As a result, income had declined because I was sabotaging my business. In November of 2005, did my first serializer launch. Made $360,000 in 9 minutes. Holy shit. Attracted customers I liked. Pretty cool. December of 2005, I launched a product called Ultra Underachievers. Instant $100,000 per month recurring revenue business. Dang old diggity. I then discovered La Jolla, California, and immediately decided to move there. Prior to my doing this exercise, I never even knew La Jolla, California existed. February, March of 2006, did my Serializer 2 class, made $640,000 in 45 minutes, and became a cash millionaire for the very first time in my life. People talk about being a millionaire. Well, I've got to, if you figure my house, my business, I'm a millionaire. Fuck that. If you can write a check for $1 million, you're a millionaire, right? So I had attained that goal, which was a big deal. I was like, wow, I made it, great. And I was actually happy about it, which was cool, first time in my life. March 2006, private plane, incidentally, awesome. Touchdown in La Jolla, California. My family and I live there now permanently. May of 2006, I did the Annihilation Method launch with Neil Strauss, bought my dream home, began surfing, created the dream business, and started to become a little bit aware of this increased ease of influence that was happening. I was just like, things have gotten significantly easier here. Damn, I didn't put 2 and 2 together about this exercise until like years later. I'm a little slow. My personal income for that period, post September 2005, when I did the exercise I'm going to share with you, $1.5 million. Wow. I was really stoked, considering it was just me, and I was moving my family. Imagine doing all that. Like, moving cross country is stressful enough, right? So not only was I able to locate a new place, sell my house, move my entire family, move my immediate family, leave all of our relatives and everything, home we grew up in, move to a new city, all the stress and pressure and all that, still managed to somehow make $1.5 million. Wow. Here's what the end result looks like today. All the non-fun businesses, just turned them off. All right? Some folks that are here are clients of some of the businesses that I didn't really enjoy very much. For example, my Ultra Underachievers class taught niche marketing. I got to the point where I just ran out of stuff to teach. It's like, well, I don't really know how many other ways I can find out what people want and sell it to you, so what am I going to do now, So I just turned it off to eliminate the stress of trying to come up with new rehash stuff. Gone, pressure gone. All the non-fun customers gone. See you later. Thank you. May you live your life forever in peace. I hope you find happiness eternally. Today I get paid a fortune, literally just obnoxious amounts of money. I almost don't want to tell anybody because I'm afraid that they'll go, oh, damn, dude, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. You're supposed to make $7 an hour. To essentially make admittedly stupid yet fun videos with and for my friends and help people get rich by helping others. It's my job now. I essentially goof off, tell jokes with my weirdo friends, and get paid a fortune for it, which is great. I'm now a cash multimillionaire, which is multiple times cooler than being a cash $1 millionaire. Pretty neat. And I get to surf more, which is awesome. Perhaps, well, actually not remotely the best outcome of this, but a significant one is now within my market, I have effortless influence in the income that I make within my market and my community. I do so effortlessly, without stress, without drama, without convincing, without arm twisting. Very few people get pissed off when I send them emails and try to sell them stuff, which is outstanding. So, before we begin, do you agree with me that on any level at all that goals and things and stuff are irrelevant in the big picture for our overall contentment and happiness in life? Yes? Show of hands? Yeah? Cool. All right. We know that our brain tries to convince us. Well, our subconscious knows better, but our brains try to convince our subconscious that these trivial things matter. And I think in doing so, what happens is we create this internal struggle that inhibits our ability to actually get anything done. So if you're trying to sell, I'm a nice person, you should be healthy, and then you like really just want to live in Vegas and do a bunch of blow with hookers and stuff, it's going to really be difficult to sell the I'm Mr. Nice Guy, let's all be healthy business. Extreme examples, but it's the easiest to understand, right? You understand, like, you get how that would be hard when you have that internal struggle. You can dress right, look healthy, say the right stuff. It's just not going to work out. People might buy your stuff, but you're going to like, be miserable. It'll blow. So what we want to do is we want to align our brains and subconsciousness, which we're going to do today. All right, we can all breathe a sigh of relief because this ends the somewhat weird, heavy-duty, conceptual stuff. You know what? That's not even remotely true. It's still going to be a little bit weird and heavy-duty and conceptual, but a little bit easier to follow now. All right, here's how it is. I figured out, maybe, the equation on a very basic level of how all this stuff works. I would like you to remember my earlier disclaimer that I'm not a psychologist, I don't know anything about it, and no one should really listen to me ever for any reason. But if you were to listen to me, this is what I would tell you. The formula is E plus I equals L. All right? E stands for experience. I think we can all agree now that we don't really want the stuff. All right? Even Rich earlier said, like in the first part of his presentation yesterday, after thinking for so long that internet entrepreneurs wanted the money, do you remember? What do they really want? Freedom. Right. What is freedom? Experience. We don't want the stuff, we want the experience. And then we want the experience that the things give us. Starting to get a little heavy, stay with me here. I stands for identity. Our experience, beliefs, and values create our identity. You can actually have those experiences externally, such as I'm now playing baseball and all that kind of stuff, or you can have them internally while you're daydreaming, running the beer commercials in your mind. But that plus beliefs and values creates our inner identity. So the L is life. And I believe that experience plus identity equals life. They work together, I guess, to form our lives, or at least our concept or perception of what our lives are. All right. Here's the big aha. What we all want, me, you, everybody else, is a new life. We don't want the stuff. We want the new life. And this is not at all remotely given to you from the perspective of, so now you all need to go out and change your lives forever. There's not, as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with your lives, right? Isn't that funny how it's like, today's going to change your life, and everyone's like, yay! And then you're like, no one ever says it's going to change it for the worse. Like, what if it sucks? Like, we're going to change your life. Yeah, because we're going to cut off your left foot. You know? So, shit. It was pretty good to start with. All right? So I'll illustrate it. When a family buys a new home, they're not buying brick and mortar and shingles and carpet and stuff. They're buying that new life that they'll experience in the home, right? They don't want the home, they want the new life. Very basic thing. I believe that applies on some fundamental level to every single thing that is sold ever. Some part of your brain is saying, is this going to move me towards or away from my core identity? All of us, mine, yours, all the rest of the world out there. That's the way it works. So, here's how to create a new life. First of all, when I told you about that whole 9-month experience I had, would anyone like to experience something similar? Yes. Cool. You never know, right? Some people might be like, no, I'm happy. The bank's nice. They've got health benefits. Shut up. Get a haircut. So, what makes you think I haven't already? All right. Sorry, that was not intended for this audience. Let's see. If we all live an average of 40 more years, you know, give or take, I guess on average all of us in this room might live another 40 more years, and we're going to live 14,600 more days, starting now from today. All right, now if you look at what a life is, it's really made up of individual days, right? Remember we said our experiences really shape our lives, our experiences and identity. Well, you get the experience from every single day, okay? So, I believe that if we want to find out truly what this core identity we have within us is, and we want to learn how to identify it in other people, we have to create the ideal day. We have to identify what the perfect day in our lives would be. See, typically it's like, well, what do you want your ideal life to be? And it's like, well, I live in this big house and I got a Ferrari and all that stuff, and so it's okay, but it's the individual day that holds the key to what you truly want, what we all truly want. When I say you, I'm not like preaching at you at all. Like, forget me, it's us. We're all collective. So here it is. It's a lot of buildup leading up to this one question, right? Good Lord, I've been here for like 3 hours. When I told you I did this exercise in September of 2005, the entire exercise was to simply answer this one question. If there were no limitations or consequences, what would your perfect average day look like? If there were no limitations or consequences, what would your perfect average day look like? Not that heavy, right? Now we're into the dangerously new age stuff. But we are no longer going to talk about weird conceptual heavy stuff, which is cool. Okay, language is very powerful. So let me dissect the question for you. When I say limitations, I mean if we had no financial, geographic, health limitations or limiting people. So if like a perfect day, your idea of a perfect day is you wake up on the beach in Hawaii and you live in Macon, Georgia. Well, let's pretend that there are no geographic locations, right? Let's pretend that we've got all the money we could possibly want. If you can't, if your perfect day is to wake up and go surfing and, you've got a broken leg, let's pretend that your leg is not broken, right? Easy stuff. If you have limiting people in your life and your perfect day is to be away from those limiting people, let's just say you got away from them. Pew. Consequences is important. That's stuff that could get you into trouble. So it might be tempting to say, my perfect day involves waking up, drinking a liter of vodka, going and racing my Formula One car, to be followed by a cocaine binge with a truckload of hookers. That will kill you. Okay, so I don't think realistically that is your perfect average day. All right? And finally, I use the word average. It's very important that you really get the language right in this. You could do it every day and not get sick of it or get killed. Average, everyday stuff. Now you might be thinking, well, never mind, I should just show you this. So, it's like a 400-part question, really. But it's still 2 easy steps, all right? Step 1, build a giant house. Step 2, walk through the door, When you think of this perfect day, it's important not to think about stuff, all right? We're going for experience. That's why the question is framed around a day. If you say life, you think about stuff, right? We all do. You think about the big mansions and the cars and the jets and all that stuff. So where would you live in this perfect day? You don't have to write all this stuff down. It's normal questions, right? What would your house look like? Would it be clean inside? What would it smell like? What time would you wake up? What would you do in the morning? What would you think about in the morning? What would you say? What are your first words of the day? What are your first thoughts of the day? It's vitally important to drill down to this seemingly mundane, weird stuff. And when you do this exercise, I don't expect you to do it now because it took me, I'm a little bit slow, but it took me 4 hours to do it. I had literally, 11 or 12 pages. It's the answer to the question. What would you have for breakfast? Mundane, but still, you got a certain thing you like to eat, don't like to eat, place you like to go. I got as specific as to drill down into mundane stuff like what I was thinking about when I took the children to school, and what I was thinking about when I dropped them off, and what I was thinking about when I got home. The more detailed you get about this, the more clear you become, and the more profound your outcome will be. Where would you spend the first half of your day? Would you go to yoga? Right? That's what my wife does every day. yoga. I got to say, I'm a big fan. I like that. There's a lot of benefits to that thing, you know. Like, hey, wow, this is great. Well, she could go to wrestling or something, you know. I guess maybe that would be cool too, now that we think about it. What would you have for lunch? Seriously, like, what would you have for lunch? Who would you eat with? What would your friends be like? All right, when I answered this question, I rewrote the behavior of my friends. I believe the specific answer was, we have a healthy lunch at a good place. It's got fresh food that we enjoy. Our conversation is not about idle gossip, but more of a celebration of the fun we've had earlier in the day and since the last time we saw each other. So what will you talk about? What are your friends like? The perfect day. So imagine another way to frame this question is if whatever you write down, you have to live that day every day for the rest of your life. It's another way to look at it, okay? What would you do for personal fulfillment? Okay? I've tried, and you can't screw off all the time. You'll end up wanting to do something for personal fulfillment. What life purpose would you strive towards? That's a big one. Try to answer it honestly, because you might find, like I did, your answer is dramatically different from what all of your energy and time is focused on right now. If it is, you got a serious mismatch, and that blows, and it's going to come across in every presentation you do. What would your business be? What time would you start work? What would you actually do at work? All right? For mine, it was coming up with evil schemes. The use of the word evil there is not really very nice sounding, so I'd define an evil scheme as just something fun, instead of jest. What are your clients like? What's your relationship like with your spouse and your family? I wrote mine down. What do you and your kids talk about? What's that like? Not like we like each other, but why? What fun stuff do you do? What do you like about each other? What does your spouse like about you? What do your children appreciate within you? You have to live this day every day, forever, every day. Just imagine Osama's got the button on the destroy the world, or his finger on the destroy the world button. If you deviate from this day at all, he's going to press it. Okay, so you got to live it every day. Why I put this under the really big stuff, I don't know. I guess that's a reflection of where my mind is, right? Dinner is family stuff there, right? I mean, it is my house, so would you have dinner with your family? Would you go out? Whatever. What would you like to eat? Who would you eat with? What would you talk about? What would you do at night? Who would you do it with? I think we might have just had a little Beavis and Butthead moment there. I said, who would you do it with at night? But, you know, I mean, what would you... And hey, like, speaking of that, you don't have to show this to anyone, by the way, but if the whole, you know, if the answer is dramatically different from your current situation, you should put it down. You don't have to show it with anybody. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm going to show you some of mine, though. Where would you do it? What would your thoughts be as you went to sleep? That's a big one for me. What are you going to think about? Those last conscious moments of the day. Where's your mind? Where is it now? You know? Go to bed worried about stuff? You go to bed thinking about where the next sales come from, or, you know, what's going to happen if Google slaps you? That blows. That's no fun. I've done that. It's awful. All right. So, all that's build up for one little question. Sound any hokey? Yeah? Maybe? A couple of raise your hands if you're like, dude, all this for one stupid question? What the hell? One dude? Thank you for really being honest. I would never have raised my hand. Right? I'd be like, no, man, it's fine. Really, it's cool. I would have never, ever, I mean, I really like agonized over whether or not I should present this right now. Because typically, it's like, you know, I do these things and I rarely do them, and I tell some jokes and, you know, disguise content as entertainment most of the time. And it goes over very well, and then people say, we really enjoyed that, and I get to go home, and it was fine, right? But I was hoping I could really contribute back to my community today, so that's why I'm here. So, I did the exercise. Did not do it as this, I want to develop and identify my inner core stuff. Had anyone presented the exercise to me in that frame of mind, I would have never done it. I just said, yeah, whatever, shut up. I just did it because I was like miserable and every day sucked, and I was like, well, okay, what the hell do I want to do? And I was like, well, let's pretend. Perfect day, right? Now check this out. Indy and I wake up with the sun and laugh about funny things our children did as we watch the day break over the ocean. Incidentally, the reason I'm giving you this presentation today is because I moved from one office to the other after my mass control launch. I moved into an office closer to the beach, and I found the piece of paper, actually the notebook with all the answers in it. And I started reading it, and I had this big aha moment. So I dug it out, and here are the answers to some of my questions. So the first one is, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? What are you thinking about? Whatever. That was my answer. Check this out. That's the view from my bedroom. Can you believe that? None of this was planned for me, okay? It just happened. That's the first thing I see when I look out the window. That's it. Ta-da! Weird. I'm starting to think this might not be so much bullshit, okay? But I need lots of convincing, so I'm going to assume that you do too. In the morning, we're excited to get outdoors and exercise. Remember, I was 25 pounds overweight. My activity was to go eat lunch, then go to Barnes & Noble, and then go have a re-lunch, all right? I had hated exercise, okay? I wrote down, though, because I wanted to have this, in my ideal life, that was it. In the morning, we are excited to get outdoors and exercise. I look forward to this and view it as fun. It is not a chore or a mundane task, but a source for continued fulfillment and well-being. It's fun, and I would do it even if it wasn't good exercise. See the little dot? That's me. Christmas morning, 2007. Every day. No mas 25 pounds. Maybe it's not bullshit after all. I had never even touched a surfboard in my life when I wrote that. Never. I don't even know if I'd seen one in real life when I wrote that. In mine, I would describe the house. I told you not to focus on things, so you don't make it all about things, but if something comes up, like it did in mine, I described my home, write it down. After exercise, I take a shower. Our shower is huge and made of marble and glass. It has a bench to sit on and lots of jets, so we can both get in there. The point is to show you the shower. 6 people can get in that shower. 3 can sit on the bench, and 3 can shower under the 14 jets that are in there. The people on the bench can help if they like, or they can simply watch. It's up to them. It's marble. It's marble. It has a bench. It has multiple jets. It's the exact same thing I wrote without even consciously saying, this is what I'm setting out to do. It wasn't a goal-setting exercise. I just said, shit, this day sucks. What would a good day be? You can never really get anywhere unless you know where you're going, right? So the whole point of the exercise for me was not to have this entire life transformation. It was just to see, well, if I'm so miserable now, what is it that I actually want? So, shell versus core identity. My shell identity was motivated by things, goal-driven, status-driven. The reason I was buying the cars is because I wanted people to think I was cool, so all the people that thought I was a douchebag in high school could see how cool I was, right? Let's get honest. Okay? Get the money, get the money, get the money. Right? Zippity-doo-dah. Miserable. That was my shell identity, though. So common on some variation with all of us. The core identity was I truly didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. I wanted to leave normal society, live at the beach, cultivate an ideal lifestyle, and get paid to have fun and contribute to others by doing so. What do you know about that? Huh. What's this got to do with making money, which is the whole point of the conference? Well, I didn't give you all the stuff that I wrote down. Remember when I said describe what you do at work, when you go to work, where you go to work, and all that stuff? Check this out. In describing my business, at the time, my business was a really big part of my identity. It's not so much, but I described what I wanted it to be. I wrote down, my business is fun and easy. My main function is to simply come up with cool ideas that help me and my clients make tons of money without being obnoxious about it. It works so well that I'm able to generate a huge income from only a small amount of sales. Okay. Check this out. My customers are cool, fun, and low stress. I actually enjoy interacting with them. And if I were to encounter them on the street, I'd be happy to see them and would not walk the other way. Complete 180 from the life I was living and my mentality regarding my customers at the time. I think, well, that's a nice sounding title, isn't it? Since I did the exercise, September of 2005, generated almost $31 million in revenues for myself and my clients. And by clients, I just mean the dudes I did stuff directly for. God knows what the people I've taught have made. We don't even count that. Right now, my business, one of them, is on pace this year alone to pay me close to $2 million in passive residual income if I never sell another product all year. Are you starting to believe me now when I say, please don't buy anything from me? I'm not here to say I'm doing okay. Okay? Because this is on video, I didn't want to use people's real names, so I used their nicknames. Mahler is a friend of mine. I see him regularly. He's the first person to ever recognize me in public. He's my friend, and he was one of my customers. As is Fizzle. Butter and Gypsy and Fizzle Mahler, see him very regularly, some almost every day. Customers. Hang out with these people. I went to Mahler's wedding and wanted to. How many times did you actually want to go to somebody's wedding? I was like, dude, this is going to be killer. All right, you know, wanted to go. Magic Ryan, Rabelbowski. Friends of mine, these are all people who were customers, who fell into the previously dreaded, God help us all if any of these people ever call me on the phone or find out where I live category. Right? Customers. About 3 days ago, no, not 3 days, 3 weeks ago, I was leaving the new office, rode my new exotic vehicle, which is a Sector 9 skateboard. It cost me about $100. Rode it down to the beach to check the waves. Hanging out. Decided it was pretty good. I was going to go out and get in the water. I hear this, hey, is your name Frank? Look over. It's this girl and a couple dudes. The girl was pretty good looking too. I was like, this just keeps getting better. And I said, yes, it is. Turns out they were customers. Just happened to be in my neighborhood at my beach. Either that or they were psychotic stalkers. I'm going to hope that they were customers, right? I was glad to see them. Previous life, I would have been horrified, mortified. You know what's cool? They didn't hassle me. They're like, oh, dude, you going surfing? Sweet. Yeah, we're in your class. We're just making some videos down here. Have fun. Awesome. Right? Check this out. Since I got here in Orlando, I arrived Thursday, hang out with my buddy Johnny, 2 random, unsolicited, just happenstance emails from new mass control students, one with a video attached where he made $25,000 in 4 hours, the other saying he brought in $90,000 in 1 week. Does that sound like a little bit of a transformation to you guys from circumstance? All right. Would everyone please stand? You want to stretch a little bit or something, or jump around, or whatever you're supposed to do? All right. Remain standing if having a business that pays you an obscene amount of money, where you get to do something so much fun that you think to yourself, I cannot believe I'm getting paid for this, and your customers are cool people that you actually like and who like you and you want to hang out with them, remain standing if that sounds cool. Okay? That wasn't a loaded question at all, right? Remain standing if right now you might be thinking, you know, I like life pretty good, but I've never really sat down and thought about what an ideal day would be. I've never really considered what the perfect life would be. If I were to say to you, I have a workshop or a class or whatever where we'll walk through this process together and you will have a clear path of what you want, and based on my personal experience of what happened to me, I believe it can happen to you as well, would you be interested? Remain standing if you would be interested. Okay? Now, if I were to say this workshop costs $1,000, remain standing if you would be interested. If I were to say this workshop costs $2,000, remain standing if you would be interested. Okay? Most people are still standing. The good news is there's no workshop. This was the experience. You can sit down. This was the experience, the experiment that I was telling you about earlier. This is why I was so emphatic about telling you that I was not really trying to sell you anything. I'm not. It's a fictitious product that doesn't exist. Okay, look what just happened. I begun today's presentation by telling you under no circumstances should anyone ask me to sell them anything. Okay, that is the absolute worst sales pitch ever, right? Don't buy anything from me. Do not buy anything from me. I just got up here and talked to you guys about some of the weirdest shit you have probably heard in months, if not years, especially at an internet marketing conference, right? But what happened? With absolutely no effort at all, and without in any way at all trying to convince anyone of anything or to sell anything at all, the overwhelming majority of the room said that they would buy the stuff. Why is that? It is because I'm speaking to you now from my core identity. See, I did the exercise. I figured out the life I wanted, who I really was, who I wanted to be, stepped into that person, didn't know what was going to happen. Damn, if I'd known that, I'd have done it sooner, right? And spoke to you from that core-centered, congruent place. Because I've serviced this market for so many years, I know that you guys share the same values as me. So while your dream life may not be to live at the beach or have the marble shower that could hypothetically fit 6 people, just saying it could, that's all I'm just saying. Or surf or whatever, grow your hair long and not give a damn. While that may not be the exact match, I do know that the core identity of this group is a group that values freedom and lifestyle and experience and contribution and overall contentment above all else. Therefore, was I communicating this entire time with your surface identity or with your core identity? Core identity. It works. Yes, it sounds very weird. Yes, I am very weird. But it works. We just proved it, that it works. Now, I know this to be fact, right? If I actually said, okay, give me the money, not everyone that was standing up would say, here's $2,000, right? Maybe half would. Still, pretty good, okay? No convincing, no being an asshole, no obnoxious stuff, no stress. All's cool.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop the recording right here. If you guys want the marble bathroom and the Maseratis and the Ferraris, like Frank was talking about, make sure you click the link in the description. I have 2 options in there for you. One is done for you business. It's for beginners, and one is you have to do the work. The done for you business is $9.97. And you can just watch the free training first and see if it's something you like, and then you can move forward with it, of course, which I know for sure that you're going to love. And the other business is only $97, and the link also is going to be in the description. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys learned something from Frank's internet marketing conference, I guess that's what he called it, because he definitely dropped a lot of gold nuggets, and he's definitely knowledgeable in what he does. He had made millions of dollars online, so if any of you guys are interested in ditching your 9 to 5 and start your online business. This was an inspirational video to me, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And also, I have links in the description for you guys to perhaps start your online business. One of them is for a beginner, and the other one is for experts. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to show some love. Give me some likes. Share the video if you find it. If you like the video, please share it. If you have any comments, leave them in the description. And that's all I have for you guys. Most importantly, click the link in the description. Start your online business today. Thank you so much. I love you. I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.